what the Church of Scientology is so afraid of.
This is SPTV.
Holy cow, everybody. Thank you for joining me this evening. This video has no agenda whatsoever. We're just hanging out. This is just the waiting area for the main event, which starts in 30 minutes. But let's introduce everybody. Hello, my name's Aaron. I like long walks on the beach. Next to me, we have Serge Del Mar. Regular viewers of my channel know who Serge is. Next to Serge, we have Reese Quabell, Relatable Reese, one of the newest additions to the SPTV extended family. On the bottom left, we have Jeffrey Augustine of the Scientology Money Project channel. Of course, Serge Del Mar is the channel Serge Del Mar. Reese's channel is Relatable Reese. On the bottom center, we have Elizabeth Gale, TikTok star. And you're going to be seeing so much more from Liz over the next coming weeks and months, because you've got a book coming out, right?
I sure do. Next month, Confessions of an Ex-Scientologist Pothead.
Oh,
By me.
Wow. My God.
Exciting.
Okay, so are you going to do an audiobook?
I would love to do an audiobook, yes.
Okay.
Right now it'll be a paperback and an ebook on Amazon at the end of August.
That's awesome. And then we have Vanessa LaRose of the Degraded Daughters of Dianetics channel. How you doing, Vanessa?
I'm good. Good to see you all.
So what we're doing, maybe just to explain to some peoples, in 30 minutes, we will be doing a live premiere of the first ever documentary that the Aftermath Foundation has made about one of the people the foundation was able to help, and that is Serge Obolensky. Who of you actually knew Serge either in the Sea Org or just in Scientology? Anybody? No, I didn't. But you guys know people who did, right?
Many friends who knew him and were wondering what happened, and his brother as well, Sasha, right?
Yeah, I know a lot of Scientologists in Los Angeles know the Obolensky family, because wasn't Ivan Obolensky the commanding officer of AOLA? Does that ring a bell with anybody? I'm pretty sure he was.
Pretty sure Liz would say yes. Liz Ferris.
Yeah. Oh shit! If she's around, let her. I can text her.
She's at work. I'm kind of hearing her on her.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the documentary is live premiering on my channel and on Mark and Claire's channel, and that's why we're doing separate pre-parties, because the pre-party redirects to the main event, but there's two different main events, so two different pre-parties. There will also be a post-party live chat and Q&A on Mark's channel. We're trying to figure it out. We're not sure if we can get that streamed to my channel or not. We're still trying to figure that out, but my God, you guys, I just watched the thing for the first time this afternoon. I'd never seen it before. And holy shit.
Tell me more.
Oh my God. Well, you know what? Since we are just here bullshitting around.
Yeah.
I've never heard of someone. I hesitate to get into ranking stories, but look, Serge was someone who was born and raised in Scientology. He was in the Sea Org. God damn, I don't even want to give anything away, but it's like,
was he born and raised in the Sea Org? Born into the Sea Org?
I don't think he was born into the Sea Org. Oh, people asking how long is the documentary? The main event is 57 minutes long, and this live stream, when I end it, everyone who's watching will be automatically redirected to the main event. I feel like we've kept this under wraps for 3 years, that if I expose this story 25 minutes before the damn thing goes live, it will have been for nothing. So let me restrain myself. Let's talk about something else.
Let's
talk about something else. Vanessa,
I can just say that I've seen bits of it over time that wasn't specifically this, but of his story, and it really is something I look forward to seeing.
Yeah,
it's gonna be incredible.
Yeah.
And Aaron, just like you're saying, how much of this documentary really is the tip of the iceberg? Because, you know, there is no ranking of this horrors that and the dysfunction that so many minors, you know, experience as a result of every last adult being compromised with this rhetoric.
Yeah. Okay, there's do not give it away. No, I won't give it away, you guys. You know, it's funny. You know how I always talk about watching YouTube on 2x speed because I'm so goddamn impatient. I actually watched this documentary on 2x speed today, so I was able to get through it in 30 minutes. And even then, I was just fucking crying like a baby. That's why I'm glad we're not doing like a live. Like we're not going to be watching it together live. This stream will end. Everyone will be redirected to the main event. But yeah, get your tissues out. But for the second gen experience, it's actually what happened to Serge, what he experienced is like a perfect encapsulation of why children are at risk in Scientology. That Scientology, there are no protections built in place for children because Scientology doesn't believe that children are a thing. Children don't exist. We're all just immortal spiritual beings in little bodies. And Reese and I were having a chat yesterday about just growing up, being a kid with Scientology parents. And, you know, she mentioned just being told, even as like a 5 or 6 year old, you're responsible for your own condition. You're responsible for your own condition. You're responsible for your own condition.
Intention is cause, Aaron.
Intention is cause. You're crossing a line and you know it.
Nobody's ever asked me that before.
Well, you know, since the time of L Ron Hubbard, there's been a new concept developed of age appropriateness. So when you're dealing with children, you need to be age appropriate. Your expectations, your communication style, all should be age appropriate. And there's nothing close to that in Scientology texts. There's nothing to differentiate, like you're saying, what a child can handle for their physical or their cognitive or their social development. It's just like throw them to the wolves and see how it goes. It's tragic.
Yeah.
It's
funny. It's funny. You know, people sometimes ask the question, I'm sure you guys get it as well. Like when you left Scientology, what is the thing that took you the longest to let go of or to unravel or, you know, a way of thinking that how long did it take you to realize it was wrong? And there's a few things. For me, it was the idea of civil liberties, that civil liberties were a thing. I thought civil liberties was something that people that existed just to protect criminals only, right? If you got nothing to hide, what do you if you're not got nothing to hide, what do you have to worry about, right? But one of the other ones is what you just mentioned about age appropriateness. That, you know, the brain actually develops, that people at certain ages should not be exposed to certain things. There's no such concept in Scientology.
Nothing. The only reason I know it is because I knew my family was so screwed up, but I didn't know how, that I sought out a higher education. First, I got my associates in early childhood education, which covers 0 to 5, and then went on to child and family studies because I came from nothing, and I did not want to screw up the next round. I'm doing my best, no promises, but having that kind of education, like understanding some of the up to date, because L Ron Hubbard, he died in the 80s and he thrived in the 60s. So much of his concepts are so out of date. We know better, yet it continues to be applied.
Yeah.
It's bonkers.
And Liz, like even like his concepts were always sadistic. Like studying so many of his policies and everything, it's like everything was sadistic and abusive. It was pitched with this like technological spin, but the spin was only to hide like the deeply sadistic entitlement that was going to be role played by anybody who believes what they're reading from the rhetoric.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I think took me the longest to understand. I thought for a long time that L Ron Hubbard was just misguided and like, oh, he just took what he knew at his time and he did the best he could, because some of his beliefs, I've cognitively, logically, like, I don't believe in silent birth, but if you look at how children were being born then, I do appreciate a calm, quiet environment to have a baby, as opposed to some of the things they were doing in the 50s and 60s. But that doesn't mean that, it's got to be my mom hushed my husband at my first son's birth, and it did not go over well.
Okay. Reese told a story yesterday where your doctor said, your chiropractor, who was a Scientologist, said, Reese, and he was also an OTA, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, tell the story real quick. What did he say?
Which
was
one? We've talked about him a lot. You mean when I first went and saw him?
He said your
when
condition
he did
is
his
because
scan?
your dad walked in when you were born and said,
Oh, so I'm diabetic. And he said, that's because your dad probably walked in when you were born and said, hi, sugar.
Oh my goodness. See, that's something that really actually is hilarious, but pisses me off deeply, because it's this idea that you will damage your child beyond reproach. And so that's the first step in separating that parental bond, to give your rights away. So, that's frustrating. And did he really say that? Or did the doctor just make it up? I'm so
Did my
curious.
father say that?
Yeah.
We didn't run the birth engram. I never got to the birth engram, Liz. So I'm not. I was found out to be a double agent before I could get there. But I'm sure that he's right, because he's OTA. Those guys know it all.
Yeah.
He was probably there
That's
when I was born,
fascinating.
watching from afar.
So speaking about running the engram, since I did run my engrams when I was 12 years old, I remember specifically talking about how my mom and my dad had an L2D, and that's how I was made, basically. They weren't married, right? So I was running the engram and telling myself that the reason I was having like this gay tendencies was because I was confused and I was like a byproduct of this L2D, out ethics. So it's so bizarre.
no way. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
Aaron, let me
literally
jump in.
trying to, they're in that room trying to like put all these like significances together. Nothing makes sense. It's just disassociation galore, but you got to come up with something. Otherwise they won't let you out of the room. So you're like, oh yeah, well, this is probably makes sense. And you're just okay, bye.
What were you going to say, Jeff?
Oh, what I was going to say is the early, Hubbard's early work, he mentions in one of his books, it may be History of Man, I don't remember, but he says leukemia apparently is caused by an implant that says it turns my water to blood.
My blood to water?
I remember, yeah, it turns my blood to water. And I remember a Scientologist who died of leukemia, Freezoner. He was actually running that. And I said, Roy, that's not even how science or medicine works. But I'll tell you what this guy did. Roy, he actually walked his talk. He said, I'm not going to go radiation or chemo. I don't want it because it could put me in an implant station.
Oh.
So he lived on transfusions and died. It was horrific to watch. It was horrific to watch him die. So end of life. Now, growing up in Scientology is its own hellish nightmare. But end of life for a lot of Scientologists is a nightmare in a different way, especially if they went in as adults. Because a lot of people, when they get up to death, they'll go to medicine. They will go to Western medicine, radiation, chemo, everything else. This guy was hardcore old school, and he refused all the medical treatments because of what Hubbard said. He actually thought if he got chemo or radiation, he would be sent to an implant station, would damage his Thetan.
Wow.
And I mean, it's a horror to watch. There is free will, but I mean, Kirstie Alley, did she get a colonoscopy? Was her death preventable? I don't know.
Yeah.
So end of life and
Yeah.
childhood. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to, we answered this before, but I know some people join us later on. How come you're not all together? So the main event is premiering on 2 different channels. So we also have 2 different pre-shows, because the purpose of the pre-show is to redirect people to the main event. So we'll also be doing a post-event like live chat and Q&A, and that will will all be, that will be one event. Even if it's streamed on multiple channels, it'll be one event. Okay. And then Juliana Bittencourt, pretty amazing to have 2 SPTV Hangouts happening at the same time. Indeed. So real quick, let's tell everyone, one of the things that Vanessa has been working on over on the Degraded Daughters channel is helping Liz Ferris solve the mystery of her father that she was told by Scientology was dead 20 years ago. And just in the last month or two discovered, yeah, he's not dead. He's still working at Scientology's international base in Gilman Hot Springs, California. Vanessa, you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, can you hear me okay? I had to kind of reset. Okay. So yeah, since this adventure started, we, including Jeffrey right here, have been just kind of around the clock working nonstop to try to just get proof of life for Liz of her father. The sad only proof we've seen is like literally pictures of him digging the ditches that we were shown from a totally different media source. So we've been having a lot of struggles, and it seems like every corner we turn and we ask for something or some document or maybe like the body cam footage, there's another hurdle, and it's including a lot of travel. And like Jeffrey has literally been donating his time helping us like since the initial event. Like we go and do things all the time for this. So we're just trying to raise a bit of funds because it's all been coming out of pocket for us and Liz and her partner. And aside from the initial help we got early on, which was awesome. But now it's become a thing where it's kind of like we have to follow up and keep going. And if she needs to come back and forth, we just want to help her out. So we started a GoFundMe, and if anybody has a couple bucks to spare, we appreciate it.
Yeah. So this is an interesting one because like if Bob Ferris were to show up tomorrow, need any help leaving Scientology, need any help getting set up, the Aftermath Foundation would be all over this like white on rice. But as far as the type of expenses that we're talking about here, we're still before the stage where we're not even in touch with Bob. Bob doesn't even know he can leave. Bob doesn't even know help exists. So when that day comes, you guys better believe the Aftermath Foundation will be all over it. But until then, they could really use some help with some funds to help with the effort of getting to that point. I have included a link to this fundraiser in the description of the video below. Goldie, oh, you know what? Let me, I can probably do it myself. Let me put
Goldie's
it in
got the link.
Oh, she's got it? Okay, good. Goldie.
She got it.
Okay, good.
So does Juliana. They're the best ever. So we've been getting a lot of help from really good people, and it's made this whole journey so much easier. And I know everyone really supports this because everyone who viewed it on your channel has come over to us and just given Liz the most supportive words, and it really means the world to her and me.
That's amazing. Is there any update that can be publicly shared at all? Is there anything to share?
We are still trying to get proof of life. And that's that.
Okay, cool. Liz, when does your book come out? I think I might have asked, but I don't remember.
At the end of August.
Okay, end of August. Okay, so in about a month. Okay.
I'm gonna do 10 days of Scientology and cult quizzes live in the mornings. A little coffee, little cults, little quizzes.
Wow.
I don't
Can
know,
you give us a sample
trivia nerd?
Can you give us a sample quiz? Test us, Liz. Just one test.
Okay. Well, some are very basic. How about wow, you really put me on the spot.
Well, you're an author. You have to get used to this.
I don't know what to do. Well, let's see. There are 10 different quizzes. So one of them is about the BITE model. Do you know what Steve Hassan's BITE model of authoritarian control stands for?
I have to look it up. I know Stephen Hassan. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Does Serge, do you know it? Okay. Behavior, information, thought, emotion.
Exactly. Those are 4 types of control that if you are a cult, you are going to enforce on your members. Yes, there's one. The other topics will be a basic Scientology and an advanced Scientology quiz, a Scientology scandals quiz. There will be a couple of cannabis quizzes because it's me. Yeah, so I'm really excited about it. I hope that you guys will join. I'm going to do 10 days, just 10 days. You'll be sick of me after 10 days.
Aren't we having a launch party or something at a dispensary, or is that?
Yes, I may pull off a launch party in a dispensary. I have like serious anxiety about that.
Vanessa, I don't think Vanessa, your mic came unplugged somehow.
Oh,
just so you know.
But I'm gonna do mornings on YouTube and evenings on TikTok because I just reached 30,000 followers over there on TikTok. So we got a little crew going. Anyway, it should be really fun. I'm gonna give away some books and some prizes, and
please let me know. I would be so thrilled to be able to help you with that and do little book things with you, like for each one of those 10 days. Honestly, it would be so much fun.
I would love that. I'd be honored. Anybody who wants to help. It's a weird thing. I feel like I'm bearing my soul, not just sort of to the world as an artist, but putting myself out there in the anti-Scientology world, which, as we all know, has a lot of energy right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Bring it
excited.
on. Just say, bring it on.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. I'm thinking, let's do it. But I love my quizzes. I don't know about you guys, but I live in a small town and we have trivia night at the local bar. I see my friends. I eat some fried cauliflower, and I think it's a great way to learn as well. So
that's awesome. How did you start getting so much traction on TikTok? Like, your videos are great. I don't even know how to do those. You know, those videos where something's going in the background and the person, I know it's green. I have no idea how to do that shit. How did you start getting traction over there? TikTok
honestly makes all that stuff really easy. It really does. Don't let that stop you.
I'm not making a jump.
Yeah. You know, it's been an interesting experience. I picked TikTok for a couple of reasons. For one, there's something called Trauma Talk, which is sounds kind of scary, but there's a huge ex-Mormon, ex-cult community over there that really overlaps and has a lot of great support resources. So but to be honest, I didn't want to go on Facebook or anywhere where people knew me. That was my main decision. And there's an ongoing joke, like, if you know me, get off my TikTok. You don't know me, you didn't see me here. Yeah, so it's fun over there. You guys should hop over sometime and see how it goes.
If it didn't require a completely different aspect ratio of video, I would cross upload everything, but it's just, oh my God, I already spent so much time.
That's the nightmare that I've been facing looking to go on YouTube, because YouTube actually has some freedoms that they have a lot to offer that TikTok doesn't have to offer, especially now with this StreamYard, where I know how to do, like, guests can come on and do quizzes. But yeah, it's a totally different, it's a different vibe over there. And I never brush my hair. That's, I think, why I like it. You don't have to brush your hair to make TikTok videos about Scientology.
I'm curious, Liz, since you've already got such a big video library, you ever upload just full-length videos to Twitter as well, or anything, or Rumble or anything like that?
I haven't. I've been considering what I would like to branch out into next, because some of my content that I'd like to move into is kind of adult-oriented, not in a sexual way, but cannabis, some coercion. You know, you end up talking about some kind of hardcore abuse. And I also have some kind of family history that I'd like to share in a safer platform. So I don't know. I don't have an answer for you on that one.
Start an OnlyFans.
You mean adjust for fans? Adjust for fans.
Just for fans, yeah. So we'll see. I'll mess around on this YouTube. The SBTV over here is so fun. I just want to be a part of it. I just want to party with you guys and drink some coffee and learn about cults.
Isn't it just crazy that we can now say whatever we want and tell whatever stories we want, and there's no, like, 8-month lead time and approval process and lawyers and producers and nonsense, and, like, the new media, like, we'll never have to rely on anyone ever again.
I know. It's almost scary though, in a way. Like, am I really allowed to just publish this book? Is anybody going to stop me? Because it might be a bad idea. I have a 17-year-old son, and I'm like, you and your friends may not read this.
Well, you could turn it into a clinical paper, maybe THC is an adjunct therapy and exiting Scientology. It'd be interesting.
Actually,
Well,
there's
look
a
at the
lot of studies on that.
No, I'm serious about the pharmacological impacts of THC. Is there, as they research it? I worked on THC when I was in industry with the grow lights. It was turned into a drug called Sativex. It was going in clean rooms, and it was to replace opiates in late stage cancer treatment for pain.
Okay.
But it is interesting how THC could be an adjunct, or it could be used in helping people with anxiety exit.
Yes.
So I've always looked at that interface between how you help people leave a cult, because anxiety, Scientology makes such a formidable exit barriers. They erect huge exit barriers.
Yeah.
So, and that's a corporate term, but you can use it in Scientology. They make huge, immense exit barriers. Aaron, I have a contract that I have. It's the newest, latest resignation when you leave Sea Org, and it is the most crippling, brutal contract I've ever seen, where it strips you of. You have to give up your constitutional rights to free speech. I think it's unenforceable, legal. I want to do a video with you about it. Maybe we could do a group panel, because this thing. But Liz, I'm so proud of what you're doing, because when an X comes out and publishes it, it's such a big thing against the cult. After Danny Masterson's conviction on 2 counts of SO, we'll use that word. I think all hell broke loose inside, and we're seeing this tsunami of rage, outrage, trying to get even. That's what we're seeing right now. It's almost like there's a verse in the book of Revelation where Satan is loosed on the world after the rapture. And I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just saying it's almost like Miscavige has loosed he's like had us all this pent up rage. And when Masterson was convicted, all hell's breaking loose. We're seeing it, right?
Absolutely.
So these books and videos, YouTube is so important in countering that, the ferocity of the lies and the fair game. And also, you're going to fail. You are going to fail. I will tell you that. You are going to fail. You're not going to win in media. We run this. You don't.
We're very strong.
I love that.
Yeah, we run this. Yeah.
Well, I think Danny Masterson the whole case was really triggering for me, because I was in Los Angeles around that time, but I was younger. So I dated like Luke Watson's little brother. And if I had stayed there, it was just insidious. I don't want to get too much into it. Like, it's allegedly. But that world and that culture was predatory, and they saw you coming right when you were blooming.
Yeah.
They were.
All right, guys, it looks like it's that time. I think I have like a 1 or 2 minute intro to the actual premiere, and I can't remember if the intro starts 2 minutes before the premiere, or if when the premiere starts, it makes you sit through a 2 minute intro. So just so that I don't accidentally enter this thing 2 minutes late, let's call it right here. Guys, if you're one of the 900 people watching right now, please hit that like button. I'm going to end the stream right now. You're going to be automatically redirected to the main event.
Love it.
Yay!
We'll see you there.
Bye, guys.
Thanks,
See you there.